Hello, my name's Piers and I can't paint. Welcome to my painting channel. Today we're going to try and paint Tyranid wings. I've started on the wing membranes already, but just like my parents, when they look at my life choices, I'm disappointed in the results. But first, a little backstory. I call my Tyranids Hive Fleet Asag, named after a Sumerian mythological demon who was so hideous he made fish boil alive in the rivers just by looking at them. Here is my test Hive Tyrant. He isn't finished yet, but you get the basic colour combos. I'm sure this combo must have been done before, but almost certainly not with the lack of ability that I can demonstrate. I used Colourforge's Ruinous Red as a base coat. The skin colour is achieved using Incubi Darkness. I then washed the whole model with Carroburg Crimson. This gives a very shiny effect, but that helps to make the skin look look almost sweaty and more real. Then I used Stegadon Scale Green. I'm not sure if I'm happy with how this looks, or if I'm going to use some Vallejo model colours instead. I've got three that are very similar blues that will give a nice highlighted effect. The vents are Emperor's Children, then washed with Carroburg Crimson. Again, I don't love how these turned out, so I'm thinking I'm going to use Blood Angel's red contrast paint as a wash over the Emperor's Children, or I might just give it some Wraithbone and then then paint the Blood Angel's red on top, and then do a little sort of very, very small dry brush of the pink on the vents, just to try and get that crisper effect. The chitin is based with Steel Legion Drab and then highlighted with layers of Baneblade Brown, Carrack Stone, which is as far as this model has got. But later will also then be highlighted with Screaming Skull and then finished off with a small amount of white, hopefully, just on the tips. Onto the wings, and we base with Baraknar Burgundy, and then we highlight Pink Horror, mixed equally with water. I am the epitome of all the gear no idea, so naturally I have a wet palette and I use an Artis Opus size 0 brush. I also use some toilet roll to wipe off the excess paint from my brush. I'm trying to get some texture by using brush strokes that go in different directions. I'm also paying attention to where the light would hit naturally. Next up is Emperor's Children, again mixed 50-50 with water. Obviously at this stage we have very noticeable highlights and brushstrokes. I've done some Googling and the general consensus seems to be that at this point we glaze to reduce the glaringly obvious lines. So we are using Baraknar Burgundy to glaze the membranes, and we can see if that improves everything. I mix the paint with quite a lot of water. Alright, possibly too much water. And do a test run on my glove to see the consistency. I have possibly watered this down too much, but we will power through and see what we get. Remember that acrylic paint dulls down as it dries, so if you're not happy with how it's turned out, always give it 24 hours before you make any rash decisions. What looks quite garish and gaudy at one point, a day later can actually look quite subtle and quite toned. So this is how it looks after 24 hours. Does it look better? Yeah, I think so. Am I happy with it? Not really. But Am I going to spend hours to try to make it a little bit better? Also no. It's good enough, and I've got a lot of Tyranids to paint. And anyway, I feel like I've learnt some things that I can take onto my next model. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the Tyranid. It'll do. It's good enough. It's a good start. And then each model I do, hopefully, will get better and better. But, you know, he's kind of cool. And from a distance, they work. Both of them, actually. I've got two, obviously. Why would I have one? Why? Why would I have one? See, that's from a distance. It works pretty well. They've both had exactly the same thing done to them. Yeah. I'm quite happy with that.